The top stories tonight in Y News. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board conceded it's time to raise the fare for jeepneys following yet another oil price hike happening tomorrow. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the nation in celebrating National Heroes Day and disclosed plans by his government to put up hospital for veterans in the Visayas and Mindanao. NASA's new moon rocket remained on track to blast off despite a series of lightning strikes at the launch pad on Saturday. And Wish 1075 celebrates its 8th year anniversary with the unveiling of the Wish Rider. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 29th of August, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts. First in the news, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, says public utility jeepney fares are due for increase. The board is scheduled to release their decision for petitions for PUJ fare hike in September. Asher Kadapan Jr. explains why.
Fuel price is one of the significant factors in identifying the fare rate of public utility jeepneys, while the impact in the economy, particularly inflation and purchasing power of consumers, are also being considered. But as oil price persistently increase, especially this year, transport groups appeal for fare hike. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, however, recognizes the situation of the PUJ drivers and operators.
Yes. They're due naman talaga na. For increase kasi the last time we had this fare rate increase was ang level pa lang ng diesel noon was I think 44 pesos per liter. Okay. So magkano na siya ngayon, more than half na. At least more than half na ulit siya by tomorrow.
The LTFRB has consulted the fare hike petitions for jeepneys with different stakeholders. But the board finally needs a memorandum from the transport groups who filed the petitions to state their position why an increase is still necessary. The LTFRB is set to decide after receiving the said memorandum from the petitioners.
At least we're waiting for their memorandum on September 3 and then we will act accordingly. So we can expect siguro ang rate hike petition na resolution nila will happen siguro at the latest will be, at the earliest will be first week of September or at the latest siguro second week of September.
Transport groups filed a petition for a 2 peso fare increase in the first 4 kilometers, while others appeal to have a 15 peso minimum fare. The LTFRB chief, however, says the board is also deciding on how much will be the rate adjustment if it will be approved. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, local markets saw a rough increase in dried fish prices. A study of the cost structure of salt and dried fish is being conducted, says the Department of Agriculture. A market inventory of onions, including those sold online, is also being conducted by the said agency. Ray Pelayo reports why.
Dried fish are sold in this area of Commonwealth Market. Considering the cost of their product from production to delivery, retailers feel the high prices. A box of dried fish they sell is now priced at 4,000 pesos from just 2,500 a year ago. However, the sellers are unaware of whether the price increase includes the cost of salt.
Ang dami kasing na sa pagtaas niya, gaya ng gasolina, yung mga expenses ba, sa tauhan, sa labor, ganun po, sa transportation. Kasi yung ibang kalakal nito galing pa ng isla.
The Department of Agriculture said that they will check the cost structure of salt and dried fish. They also want to know where the majority of salt supplies are actually imported.
Yung cost structure naman ngayon ng tuyo ang ating titignan. para makita natin anong dahilan kung bakit gumalaw. Ito ba ay dun sa asin na local na ginamit niya? Ito ba ay dahil meron din dun sa gasolina kaya yung tinderang nakakaramdam? Saan gumalaw? Which part gumalaw? Dun sa gumagawa mismo ng daing o dun sa nagbebenta na ng daing?
Salted egg prices grow along with the price of fresh egg from 2 months ago.
Kulang sa supply kasi mataas din ang patoka. Ganon. Mataas ang gas. Siguro kasama na rin yun. Pero ngayon lang naman tumaas ang asin eh. Ito, may isang buwan na mahigit mataas na eh.
Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture is doing an inventory of onions in storage facilities, including those that are selling online. The agency wants to ensure that no onions are smuggled and that there are adequate documents.
Nagbebenta ng white onion, wala ng white onion sa palengke. Sabi ng iba, wala ng white onion sa cold storage facility. So, online seller, saan gagaling ang iyong white onion? So, yun po ang ating tinitingnan ngayon.
Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Marcos administration aims to modernize the country's salt industry in order to boost production and increase supply, according to Malacanang. Among the plans include expanding salt production areas and to use modern technology to accelerate salt production. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, will also be tasked to lead various research and development initiatives in salt production. Meanwhile, the Department of Trade and Industry assured there is no salt shortage in the country amid sugar supply issues. In other news, the Department of the Interior and Local Government Secretary Benjamin Abalos is looking to implement programs that would benefit the persons deprived of liberty. In line with this, the BJMP has acquired assets that will benefit prisoners across the nation. Dante Amento has the story.
The Bureau of Jail Management and Penology got new logistical supplies or assets worth 110.6 million pesos. These include 14 transport vehicles that will help inmates attend the hearing of their cases. Over 600 laptops are available for online hearings and other admin work. BGMP personnel will also use 2,541 units of caliber 9mm pistols to secure jail facilities and protect themselves.
Isipin mo, magta-transport ka, kailangan ilipat mo, dali mo sa husgado, halos araw-araw ang hearing. Pero dati 70% lang ang ating capacity. So ang tanong, paano mo natatransport yung iba? Di ba kung 70% lang ang capacity po, nangihiram ka ba sa munisipyo kung paano?
Earlier, Interior and Local Government Secretary Benhur Abalos Jr. disclosed he is planning to talk with the Supreme Court. Abalos will ask the High Tribunal to allow online or video conference hearings for persons deprived of liberty or PDL.
Baka dumating ang panahon, baka mag-online, hearing pa tayo. Na nangyari ito ng pandemic, hindi ba? So, ito yung mga bagay na dapat bigyan ng tuon ng pansin, no? At marami pang iba.
The online hearings will speed up the resolution of cases even if the parties do not meet in court. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
An Australian senator politician proposed the popular app TikTok to be banned in Australia due to threats harming the nation's cybersecurity. Marvy Delfin will give us the details live. Yes, Marvy?
Kath, a report released by software engineer Felix Kraus revealed that the owner of TikTok, ByteDance, may be collecting user data and having access to private information. Because of this, Liberal Senator James Patterson voiced that the government should consider the app being banned if the government cannot protect the nation's cybersecurity. Kraus was able to identify this after he studied the JavaScript code which TikTok runs when a link is opened through the app by users, which is called in-app browsing. From there, the data from tapping on the screen can be recorded, which allows text input to be monitored, threatening user information information privacy as credit card details and passwords can be seen. TikTok has since then labeled Krause's findings as misleading, stating that they do not run code to collect information, but rather to debug or troubleshoot. TikTok remains a very popular app in Australia, with over 2.5 million users and a third of this being children under 15 years old. Kath?
Marvi, with these findings, how can users of TikTok and other social media platforms protect their data?
Kath, as suggested by Felix Krause, if you were to open a link embedded in the application, make sure to redirect it to the device's browser. For Apple products, this would be like Safari. Doing this prevents companies from reading user data. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Marvi Delfin, reporting live from Australia. Amidst the ongoing tension between China, Taiwan, and the U.S., two U.S. Navy warships, Chancellor's Ville and Antietam, have sailed through international waters in the Taiwan Strait. This has been the first of such operation since U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, which enraged China. Since then, China has been launching military drills near Taiwan as a show of force. The U.S. Navy then said that their vessels have transited through a corridor in the strait that is beyond territorial sea of any coastal state. Although China has been pressuring the U.S. to stop the trips, Senator Marsha Blackburn arrived in Taiwan on Thursday, and the White House reiterates that these congressional trips are routine. Russia and Ukraine accused each other of attacking Europe's biggest nuclear plant, causing fear of possible radiation leaks to surrounding area. Joselito Liquido will tell us why live. Joselito?
Good evening, Kath. Attacks on Ukraine-controlled and Russian-controlled territories were reported last Sunday, specifically in cities near Europe's largest nuclear power plant. Igor Konashenkov, Russia's defense ministry spokesman, claimed that the Ukrainian forces attacked the plant twice, leaving rocket shells falling near buildings storing reactor fuel and radioactive waste. However, Konashenkov also stated that the radiation levels remain normal despite the alleged attacks, which were also verified by the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency, saying that there is no problem with the plant's 6 reactors. Meanwhile, Anatoly Kurtev, a city council member of the Zaporizhia city in Ukraine, said that they came under Russian fire, damaging dozens of apartment buildings and homes and leaving 2 people wounded. Still, the claims from both sides are yet to be verified. Meanwhile, Ukraine's nuclear agency Energoatom released a radiation map showing a forecast of the nuclear cloud spread across Ukraine's south and southwestern Russia. Energoatom further stated that due to repeated shellings, the power station's infrastructure has been damaged, posing risk of hydrogen leakage, radioactive substances, and high fire hazard. In fear of radiation exposure, authorities began distributing iodine tablets to residents who live near their Zaporizhia plant last week. Kath?
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, for that live report. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Yes, thank you very much, Kath. Daily cases of the coronavirus disease in the country are projected to drop below 500 by the end of September, as long as the current downward trend is maintained. JP Nunez explains why.
Okta Research Group has noticed a continuous drop in COVID-19 cases in the country over the last weeks. According to Okta fellow Professor Guido David, the previous 7-day daily new infection rate has dropped to 15%, from 3,487 new cases per day last week to 2,959 last August 27. Okta says that if the trend continues, new COVID-19 infection cases will have a significant drop next month. The research group projects that by mid-September, COVID-19 average daily cases may drop to 1,000 per day and 500 by the end of the month. Professor David, on the other hand, mentioned that the figure could still be affected by the outcome of the face-to-face classes.
Sa amin naman, ang sinasabi namin, if the trends continue na pababa, kung patuloy na bumababa, ito yung makikita nating numbers by mid-September and by end of September. Wala namang guarantees yan.
Meanwhile, Dr. Ron Jean Solante, an infectious disease expert, warns the public to be vigilant and adhere to health protocols. The expert mentioned that infections may still increase as the presence of a more transmissible Omicron subvariant, BA.5, continues to be a threat to the community.
There is a downtrend in the last week, compared last week. But if you'll notice, the downtrend is so slow. So ano ang indikasyon nito? Ang indikasyon nito is that there is still ongoing community transmission. And we cannot really say that we are off in terms of pwede na tayong mag-relax sa mga health protocols.
The Department of Health had previously said that by September, the country's cases may reach to 9,000 cases per day. However, the department stated that this might be avoided by strictly adhering to minimum health standards and ramping up COVID-19 vaccination. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
To cater to the indigent students who are unable to register online for the Educational Assistance Program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the agency is reviewing the implementation of an off-site payout. DSWD spokesperson Assistant Secretary Romel Lopez said they will allot guidelines for the house-to-house distribution of the cash aid. He also said the agency is already coordinating with the local government in order to assist in the cash aid distribution. The agency is also mulling on adding more payout centers to serve more students. As of Monday, 376.5 million pesos of educational assistance have been distributed to 148,000 students nationwide. Under the Cash Assistance Program, elementary students will receive 1,000 pesos, high school students will receive 2,000 pesos, and 3,000 pesos for senior high, while 4,000 pesos will be given to college or vocational courses. The Philippine National Police will increase police visibility in the midst of a reported series of kidnappings in the country. PNP Chief Police General Rodolfo Azurin said they need to investigate all reported abduction incidents in social media to determine if they are true. Leah Ilagan reports.
A series of kidnappings happened just this month. A man was abducted in Taal, Batangas on August 17 and found dead on August 18 in Sariaya, Quezon. 4 individuals from Quezon were also found dead in Rodriguez, Rizal last August 22. 2 individuals also from Quezon were found dead last August 21 in San Miguel, Bulacan. Despite this, PNP Chief Police General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. stated that there is no breakdown in the country's peace and order.
Wala akong breakdown ng law and order. Ito lamang po ay sabi ko nga napakaganda po ng development because people are now starting to report po yung mga nabibitness po nila na crime.
Azurin drew attention to the fact that crime has declined in the country since 2010 for 12 years. The number of crime incidents during President Rodrigo Duterte's term is 5.85% lower than during President Benigno Aquino III. In contrast to President Rodrigo Duterte's administration, crime rate was 45.24% lower during President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Ang assurance po natin dito is ang atin pong peace and order sa buong bansa po ay still manageable. Medyo naha-highlight nga lang po ng mga iba't ibang mga nagre-report po by sa mga different platforms, but definitely ang krimen po ay mababa pa rin po.
General Azurin directs the commander on the ground to increase police visibility against crimes. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Pakistan is appealing for further help as the monsoon disaster continues to devastate the country. Mavian Dog will give us the details live. Maeve?
Kath, the National Disaster Management Authority reported 119 deaths in the last 24 hours from the floods in Pakistan, while people continue to search for higher ground. Head of the Prime Minister's Strategic Reform, Salman Sufi, said the country is just about to overcome their economic issues, and now that the monsoon disaster hit, funding from development projects have been diverted to those affected by the floods. A grant of 10 billion rupees or $45 million will also be given to those in the heavily affected province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, while 25,000 rupees or $112 will be disbursed to every affected family this week. Kath, while the US, UK, UAE and other countries have given relief aid, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif appealed for further international support. About 33 million people, or 15% of the country's population, had been hit by the floods, with the losses comparable to those of the 2010 to 2011 floods, said to be the worst on record. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Maven Dog, for that live report. The new moon rocket launched by the U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, remained on track for launch despite series of lightning strikes that hit the launch pad last Saturday. The team is hoping to launch the Artemis Moon Exploration Program Monday in the U.S. Beverly Saison has the story.
Neither the rocket, the capsule, nor the ground equipment of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, suffered any damage. 5 strikes hit the 600-foot lightning protection towers surrounding the rocket. The Space Launch System rocket is set to send an empty crew capsule into lunar orbit. It is the most powerful ever built by the agency. It measures 322 feet or 98 meters. The test flight will last for 6 weeks. If this goes well, astronauts could return to the moon in a few years. 3 test dummies are strapped into the Orion capsule, which contains more than 1,000 sensors to measure vibration, acceleration, and radiation. The team is hoping to launch the Artemis Moon Exploration Program Monday in the U.S. The follow-on flight might be as early as 2024 and will carry 4 astronauts to fly around the moon and a landing for 2025. Beverly Saison, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Water companies in the United Kingdom are now considering a toilet-to-tap system to recycle water from sewage and provide drinking water for households over the next 20 years. Ruth Bahe will tell us why live. Ruth?
Kath, the water system where they turn sewage from toilets, bath, and sink to drinking water is being considered to prevent future water shortages and drought in the UK and to lessen the dependency on water from rivers and reservoirs. Further to that, the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, or DEFRA, is establishing the largest infrastructure program to control the excessive sewage spills and pollution in water company history. The Environment Agency Chief Executive Sir James Bevan said that people need to be less squeamish about drinking recycled water from sewage, as it could be normal in the UK by 2030. He assured that the system is perfectly safe and healthy, as well as urged people to remember how drinking water comes from natural bodies of water, putting stress on nature and wildlife. Thames Water, Affinity Water, and Southern Water are some companies in the UK that will go under trial of the new water schemes. Meanwhile, England declared hosepipe bans and drought across the country after it has experienced weeks of little to no rainfall this summer. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Ruth Bahe, for that live report. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I'm Kat Maraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. Good evening.
During the celebration of National Heroes Day, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. disclosed his plan to build veteran hospitals in Visayas and in Mindanao. The president urged Filipinos to strive to be heroes in our own right to inspire the succeeding generation. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. paid tribute to Filipinos of extraordinary courage who fought to establish and protect the country. The chief executive honored modern-day heroes like farmers, teachers, police, military, barangay officials, community leaders, environmental protectors, healthcare workers, overseas Filipino workers, and those employed in other sectors during his speech at the celebration of National Heroes Day at the libingan ng mga bayani in Taguig City.
Kinikilala natin ang ating mga magsasaka, mga agricultural worker na buong araw ay nagsisikap upang tugunan ang ating mga pangangailangan para sa seguridad ng supply ng pagkain. Kung hindi dahil sa kanila, wala tayong pagkain maiahain sa ating mga pamilya. Tunay silang mga bayani kailanman. Ngayon naman na nagbalik na sa paaralan ang ating mga kabataan, papurihan din natin ang ating mga guro at iba pang kawani sa sektor ng edukasyon dahil sa kanilang hindi matatawarang dedikasyon. Sa kanilang patutulungan sa maging ligtas ang pagbubukas ng klase, panatag ang ating kalooban, nasa mabubuting kamay ang ating mga kabataan.
The president also thanked the soldiers who had fought for Filipinos, promising that his administration will construct hospitals for them, particularly in the Visayas and Mindanao. PBBM called on Filipino to become an instrument of unity rather than pull each other down.
Gamitin natin ang ating kakayahan upang panibaguhin ang ating kapiligiran para sa higit na ikabubuti ng lahat. Huwag nawa natin ikulong ang ating mga sarili sa hidwaan at paghihilahan ng pababa. Sa halip, maging instrumenta tayo ng pagkakaisa, ng kapayapaan.
The president reiterated his call for the public to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Vice President Sara Duterte called on Filipinos in a statement to look at the future of our country and its unrelenting longing for the same profound sense of patriotism for us. The Vice President, who also heads the Department of Education, said it is imperative to use the lessons of the past to awaken the heroes inside the Filipino hearts, especially the youth. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Through the years, we have honored our valiant heroes who fought for our freedom. But as time passes, the country faces new challenges and with it, new heroes. Historians say there will always be heroes in any period. Eileen Cerudo has this report.
What makes a hero? According to historians, heroes serve as an inspiration for Filipinos. Their lives are used as guides on how to live, and honoring heroes has always been an integral part of the Filipino culture.
Isa sa mga pinatutungkulan din natin dyan, yung bakit ba may bayani? 'Di ba? Ang bayani ay nagbibigay ng serbisyo sa bayan ng walang hinahangad na kapalit.
Valiant heroes like Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, and Gregorio del Pilar taught us how to love our country and fight for it. They have sacrificed their lives for the freedom we have now. They have also taught us the importance of doing good for your neighbors and for your country.
Ang pinakapunto natin, kaya tayo may mga bayan, ay pinapakita natin na dapat ito yung kung ano man ang ginawa nila para sa bayan, dapat magkaroon din tayo ng aksyon o kaya pagmamahal na ibigay din sa ating bayan para mapagpatuloy kung ano man yun na sinimulan nila.
But as time continues, modern-day problems need modern-day heroes. According to Professor Xiao Chua, heroes arise depending on what the country needs. Before, Filipinos needed heroes to fight colonialism, but now the country faces other problems such as poverty, lack of food supply, and illnesses like COVID-19. Some of the modern-day heroes that serve as inspiration for Filipinos are the overseas Filipino workers and health workers, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Ngayon, siyempre, ano ba yung krisis sa panahon natin ngayon? 'Di ba kakulangan sa asukal? 'Di ba mataas na presyo ng bilihin? May mga kakulangan sa supply ng mga pagkain, ilang pagkain. So, gustong i-highlight na ang magsasaka ay kailangang pahalagahan. Dahil siya yung bayani ng isang gutom na mundo.
According to Miguel Jimenez, professor at University of Santo Tomas, modern-day heroes also depend on what is announced by an administration. However, he stressed the importance of honoring other modern-day heroes.
Ang konsepto ng bagong bayani ay hindi dapat nakakulong sa kung sino ang binibigyang diing sektor o kaya nagbibigay buhay, dahil ang bawat isa at ang bawat Pilipino ay dapat bigyan ng pahalaga, dapat bigyan ng pagkilala bilang mga bayani sa kanilang mga paraan. For example, para sa akin ito ay para sa akin lamang, yung mga housewife. Kung ikaw ay isang mabuting asawa at ikaw ay isang mabuting nanay sa anak mo, malamang sa malamang magiging mabuting mamamayan yung anak mo.
Kailangan may pakita rin natin na hindi nakapako sa dakilang mga pagsasakripisyo lang yung paggawa ng mabuti o pag-ibig sa bayan.
Today, we celebrate National Heroes Day. Experts say it is important to note that heroes are those who are willing to do good and sacrifice for the sake of others. With that, they said that the modern-day heroes in modern times are the Filipino people. Aileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Wish 1075 hosted a live anniversary broadcast titled Cycle of Life on Sunday, a first since the COVID-19 epidemic began in early 2020. This celebration marks the radio station's 8th year in service. Thousands of people turned out to witness the historic unveiling of the Wish Rider. Janice Enhente has this story.
Wish 1075 made a mark in the industry with the introduction of innovative endeavors that combine music and charity. Further amplifying this commitment is the launch of Wish Rider. This project is powered by music, mobility, and advocacy. Primarily, its purpose is to make charity even more accessible for all by granting wishes both big and small. And to kick things off, 8 beneficiaries received free tricycles during the event. This is in hopes of aiding their livelihood and transport needs.
Ang natanggap ko po ay tricycle para po pasada po ng asawa ko para may pang extra, pang kain araw-araw, pang gastusin. Sobrang saya po. Wala pong mapaglagyan ng saya po. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Wish 1075, led by Wish Rider, will continue to look for OPM talent as part of its commitment to being a champion of Filipino music. In earlier years, the station has played an important role in discovering new artists with its own competition, Wish Covery. Wish Rider also embodies the station's newest advocacy for safe riding. On his future rides, he will be handing out safety gear and accessories to motorists.
We are very privileged to be part of this kind of event kasi nga iba. This is something new for all of us to see and discover na sama-sama tayong ikutin ang Pilipinas at maghanap ng mga riders din na may mga talent.
Maganda yan kasi malaki ang community ng mga riders eh. Kumbaga, nandito tayo para magkaroon ng isang magandang collaborations. Hindi lang, tulad ng sabi mo, hindi lang sa Wish Bus, magkaroon tayo ng magandang programa at matulungan natin ang bawat isa.
Siyempre naman, alam nyo ba, sa mga riders natin, sa mga umpukan ng mga riders, ng mga couriers natin, mga rider delivery, ang daming mga talent yan, ang gagaling kumanta. Actually, ako rin, for all the girls of love before. Di ba? Kumbaga, yung mga riders natin, maraming talent at maraming maganda boses dyan. Thank you very much. Wish 1075.
Around 1,000 riders also participated in a motorcade dubbed Wish Ride to celebrate the project's unveiling. This activity, which officially started the anniversary show, had two starting points, the KDR Adventure Camp in Orani, Bataan and Liwasang Bonifacio in Manila. Another highlight of the event was a live concert with Pinoy rock icon Jet Pangan. Alternative rock troupe Mayonnaise and Journey frontman Arnel Pineda, who thrilled the crowd of wishers, music fans, and motoring aficionados.
It's the final countdown.
Completing the roster of performers are Zild, Shane Dandan, Jason Fernandez, CLR, Price Tag, and Wish Covery alumni Piniel and Kim Balozo. Wish 1075 changed the scene in 2014 when it debuted the Wish Bus. The fully equipped car may hold live radio broadcasts and performances, bringing artists closer to the public. Over the last 8 years, the station has continued to launch game-changing initiatives. This includes the Wish Music Awards, in which winning performers are given the opportunity to donate money to their selected charity. The debut of Wish Rider highlights the station's long-standing dedication to pursuing meaningful initiatives based on the very things that keep them going, music and charity.
Una sa lahat, ang pasasalamat sa Panginoon at sa inyo pong lahat na kung wala ang suporta din ng ating mga wishers na nasa mahigit na pong 13.4 million as of the moment, ay wala din po naman ang Wish 1075. Kaya't magpapatuloy po ang pag-i-innovate ng Wish 1075 para sa inyo na lahat ng mga wishers natin.
Janice Enhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the Global Prayer for Humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time through the social media accounts of Members Church of God International. And before we close, we will leave you with a word giving glory to God from the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 6. It says, "Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich." And those are the reasons behind the news August 29, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am William Theo, and because we need to know, we will always ask why. We serve the people, we give glory to God.